All right. Chapter 4, lesson 4.1. Divisibility. I know this is a concept that you guys have done before. This is not new. So, this will be a review. What does divisibility mean? If another number is divisible by a number, what does that mean? I see one hand. You really, only one of you knows what divisibility means? What, if one number is divisible by another number, what that means? Sladen, what does that mean? Compatible, yes. How so?
Like, say, 2 and 4, but 3 and 4 don't go together.
How? You're yes, I see where you're coming from, but tell me how. How? What does divisibility mean, Mr. Campbell? The word divide, I heard that, so say it again.
You can divide like 6 by 2, you'd be able to divide it without having to, like you'd be able to divide it into a flat number instead of...
You're close. Yes. It doesn't have a remainder, right? Here's the deal. A number that is divisible by another number means that it can be divided into that other number evenly. In other words, it can be divided into the other number and not have a remainder. For example, 44. Is that divisible by 11?
Yes.
Why? Why is 44 divisible by 11, Jonathan? 11 goes into 44 evenly. What do I mean by evenly? What does it mean, evenly? Without a remainder, right? When you do it, it is a multiple of 11, right? There is no remainder. That's what something being divisible by something means, okay? Tell me this. What about... is 108 divisible by 9? Why? Why is it divisible by 9?
Because 9 can be divided into 108.
Say that the other way. 108
108 can be divided into 9.
divided by 9.
By 9. And you will not have to do
There wouldn't be a remainder. In other words, another way of saying that is evenly. Right? What about this? Is... is 42 divisible by 4? Looking at it real quick, it kind of looks like it might be. Tell me, how do you know? How would you know if it was or not? What can you do? What are some things that you could do mentally to just figure this out without actually having to divide it? What are some things I could do? Just start counting by 4s, right? Could you not just count by 4s? What's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32... 36, 40, 44. It was 42 one of them? No. Right. If there was a decimal, that means there would be a remainder. So, no decimals. Right? That's one way, is to simply count by that number and see if it lands on the number you're trying to see if it's divisible by. Or trying, that number. Tell me this. What about this? What if I did... well, let's do an easy one. Is 81 divisible by 8? Why not? Because 8 doesn't go into 81 evenly. How do you know it doesn't go into it evenly? How do you know? How could you mentally do that without actually doing it? Dylan, how could you know? Is 81 divisible by 8? It is? 81 is divisible by 8? How so? It's not by 8. How do you know? Really, how do you know? You're right. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know it can't go into it evenly? What did you do to decide that? What did you do to decide that, Joy? So tell me what you did. Tell me what you did. Right. So you did the multiples of 8. That's fine. Do you need to do that? Do you have to do that all the time? In this one, I wouldn't have started with 8, 16. So what would you do? I know that 8 times 10 is 80. So 8 times 10 is 80, and 8 times 11 is 88. It missed 81. You see what I'm talking about? It missed 81. You could mentally do that and go, wait, no, it doesn't go in evenly. Because I did the one right before and the one right after it, and it missed. Make sense? Here's some other rules. If I want to know if a big number is divisible by 2, is that divisible by 2? What is the rule for finding divisibility by 2? It's pretty simple. What's the rule? If I want to know if a number is divisible by 2, what do I look for, Jared?
Look for the last number if it's even.
Yeah, the last number. If the ones place is even, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, then you know that it's divisible by 2, right? Do we all agree with that? Kelly, you paying attention? Yeah. How do you know if a number is divisible by 3? Here's the deal. 4, 6, 9, 3. How do I know if it's divisible by 3? Well, there's a rule. Do you remember what the rule is? It's kind of a cool one. It's kind of a cool rule. What's the rule? Here's the deal. If you add up all the digits in the number, that means if you add up 4 plus 6 plus 9 plus 3, if you add them all up, whatever number you get, if that number is divisible by 3, then you know that this number is divisible by 3. What is 4 plus 6? 10. 10 plus 9? 19. 19 plus 3? 22. 19 plus 3 is 22. Is 22 divisible by 3? No. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. It's not. So since 22 isn't divisible by 3, this number is not divisible by 3. Does that make sense? You add up each individual digit, see if whatever total you get, see if that's divisible by 3, and you've got it. How do I tell if a number is divisible by 5? 4, 6, 9, 3. How do I tell if it's divisible by 5? Donovan?
You'll see the last number if it's 0 or 5.
Right. If the ones place is a 0 or a 5, it's divisible by 5. It's that simple. It's that simple. Is this a 0 or a 5? No. So then is it divisible by? No, it's not. Right? It's not divisible by 5. Okay. Another one. By 9. 4, 6, 9, 3. Is that divisible by 9? Here's the deal. Here's the deal. 9s and 3s are the same. This is the same procedure. You add up each individual digit, and if that number is divisible by 9, then the whole number is divisible by 9. What was 4 plus 6 plus 9 plus 3? 22. Is 22 divisible by 9? No. Therefore, 4,693 is also not divisible by 9. Make sense? How do you tell if something's divisible by 10? This is an easy one. How do you tell if something's divisible by 10, Morgan? If the last digit is 0. The only exception to that rule would be, what if the number was 0? That's not divisible by 10, right? And every other possible situation, if the last number, if the ones place is a 0, then it's divisible by 10. Is the ones place 0? No. Therefore, not divisible by 10. Make sense? Okay. Let's try a couple of these. Tell me what they'll do. This is what they say. Okay? This is what they say. They will say test for divisibility of, they'll say test for divisibility by. Test for divisibility by, and then they'll say 2, 3, 5, 9, 10. Meaning, I'm going to give you a number, and I want you to tell me if it's divisible by 2, 3, 5, 9, or 10. For some of them, it's going to be more than one. Right? Let's see. You tell me. Let's try a big one here. 4, 2, 6, 0. Tell me you're going to test for divisibility by 2, by 3, by 5, by 9, and by 10. Is this going to have more than one answer? Absolutely. You tell me all of those. Which ones are 2, 3, 5, 9, or 10? Which one is it divisible by? Do it now, please. Let's see how you did. Tell me. So as your answer, I'm going to show you how to write this answer when they ask for this. Is that number, 4,260, divisible by 2? Yes. How do you know? The last digit is even. Okay, so your answer would start out like this. 2. Is this number divisible by 3? How do you know? What is 4 plus 2? 6. What is 6 plus 6? 12. What is 12 plus 0? 12. Is 12 divisible by 3? Yes. So then the whole number is divisible by 3. 3 is 1. Is the number divisible by 5? Yes. How do you know? The last digit is a 0. That means that it is. Is the whole big number divisible by 9? No. How do you know? When you add them all up, we came up with 12. Is 12 divisible by 9? No, it's not. So 9's not one of them. You leave it off. Is it divisible by 10? Yes, because the 0 is a 0. There's our answer right there. 2, 3, 5, 10. That's how you would answer that question. When they say to test for divisibility, you're simply listing all of those ones that it is divisible by. Does that make sense? Try another one. You're testing for divisibility on all the numbers. 2, 3, 5, 9, 10. All right. Is it divisible by 2?
Yes.
How do you know? Because the whole number is even. Right? It's an even number. 2 is one of them. Is it divisible by 3?
Yes.
How do you know?
2
2 plus
plus
1 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. Is it divisible by 5? Why not? The ones place is not a 0 or a 5, so it's not 5. Is it divisible by 9? No. How do you know? 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. Does 9 go into 6 evenly? No, not 9. What about 10? No. So what's my answer? 2 and 3. How many of you got 2 and 3? That's the only thing you got. That's the answer. What'd you put, Jonathan? All right. One type of question that they ask is this. And they want to know what number would need to go there to make this number divisible by 9. They want to know what number. This is 20-something thousand, 394. They want to know what that thousands place has to be to make it divisible by 9. So you tell me that right now. You figure that out. Joy, what number would go in here to make this whole number here divisible by 9? Well, let's see. Here's the deal. I have, what if it was 27,394? You see what I'm talking about? Does that make that thing divisible by 9? What is 2 plus 7? 9. What is 9 plus 3? 12. What is 12 plus 9? 21. 21 plus 4? 25. Is 25 divisible by 9? No. So then what number goes in here to make it so that it is divisible by 9? Donovan? A 0. What is 2 plus 0? 2. 2 plus 3? 5. 5 plus 4? 5, sorry, not 5 plus 4. 5 plus 9 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. Is 18 divisible by 9? Yes. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? There's really not much else. Yes, Layden, you have a question?
Can the box be a 9? Yeah.
Oh, or a 9. You said several. That's true. It could have been a 9. You're right. It could have been a 9. And then it would have added up to 27, which is divisible by 9. You're right. Absolutely. Could have been a 9. That's it. There's really nothing. That's it. I think you guys should be able to do all this. Your homework.